under budget. Find the gifts they love for less and gift to the max.
The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, weeknights on CBS.
As the SEALs say, the only easy day was yesterday.
Your team protects U.S. Navy assets.
This country is something else.
With a great cap comes great responsibility.
NCIS Sydney, new series premieres next Tuesday, 8/7 Central on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
Hang on, we're on a merry-go-round of snow and freezing rain. I'll time out those wintry mixes, plus tell you when we're warming back up. Live from downtown Marquette, it's your 19 News.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Sarah Blakely. Tonight on your WZMQ 19 News, results are slowly trickling in from today's light elections across Upper Michigan. We'll tell you the results we have so far and the turnout for today's elections. Plus, legislation introduced in the state Senate would require disclaimers if a political ad uses artificial intelligence. Hear from the bill's author. And the last of 3 recall petitions against 3 Delta County commissioners is turned in. We'll tell you what comes next. Your 19 News starts now.
This is WZMQ 19 News at 11.
It is starting to get a little slippery out there. Ariane, what are we looking like tonight?
We're looking like, well, if you like the colors blue, pink, and green,
I love
that's
those colors.
I know you do. Well, you love purple. We do have a little bit of purple here.
Hey.
As we are seeing here, current conditions the past couple of hours, I should say, we've got this wintry mix moving in. We're going to expect that into tomorrow. Very wet Wednesday ahead of us, and we could see some freezing rain and icy conditions as well, especially in those Wisconsin bordering counties, Gogebic and Iron County, under a winter weather advisory as of right now until 8 o'clock in the morning. I've got more on that coming up after the break.
Results are rolling in from this light election day in Upper Michigan. 10 out of 15 UP counties had elections today. So far, we have results from 7 of them. We are just putting Gogebic County's results on our website right now, but we still don't have all of the votes from those counties either. We're still waiting on results from Dickinson, Marquette, and Schoolcraft counties. There were some pretty big decisions for voters to make, though, including 4 school bond proposals in Gwynn, Briding Township, Sault Ste. Marie, and Gladstone. Gladstone area schools had a $35.4 million bond request on their ballot today. We don't have all of the results from that so far, but as you can see, it's looking like that is not going to pass. Over 1,000 people have voted no, and just under 800 have voted yes on that one. We also have some city and township seats being chosen today, but there were also operating renewals and millage requests, notably a millage request in Schoolcraft County for countywide ambulance services. Of course, there are quite a few items that we didn't even mention on air. All of those can be found on our website. Just head on over to WZMQ19.com. We've got the results right on our homepage, and like I said, we are just filling in Gogebic counties. We're just waiting on 3 other counties, Marquette, in Schoolcraft counties as well, in Dickinson. Counties around the Upper Peninsula saw a pretty low voter turnout for today's elections. Marquette city officials say that was expected, as there were only a handful of decisions today. The Sands Township clerk also told us they saw an increase of mail-in absentee ballots for this election. Election officials say while voter turnout in local elections is often less than state or national, the results are just as impactful.
Elections, local city commission elections are much more likely to have an impact, I think, on your day-to-day life, or it's much quicker to have an impact on your day-to-day life than some of the national, Senate and presidential races.
Again, just head to WZMQ19.com for those results, and we will be continuing to update those results as they come in, probably tomorrow as well. Voters went to the polls to decide key races across the country, including an Ohio abortion rights measure that voters appear to have passed that could serve as a barometer for what's ahead in the crucial 2024 vote. Michael George reports from New York.
Ohio is the Election Day battleground for abortion access. CBS News projects voters passed an amendment to the state constitution that would guarantee women the right to an abortion. The long contentious issue took on greater importance for all sides after the U.S. Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade in the summer of 2022.
I remember what illegal abortions are like. They're not good. I'd rather have women have a choice.
We're stripping ability away from the legislature to go forward and pass protections for women and the unborn.
With some exceptions, under the amendment, the procedure would be allowed up until fetal viability. That's usually around the 23rd week, according to doctors. The vote's outcome could be a sign of what's ahead in 2024. Abortion rights advocates plan to place measures on the ballot in several states. Meanwhile, in Virginia, control of the state legislature was on the line, with all 140 General Assembly seats up for grabs on Election Day.
And we're the party that's really trying to forge a better day in Virginia.
Virginia Democrats say giving Republicans full control of the state house would lead to rollbacks of voting rights. And in Kentucky's governor race, incumbent Democrat Andy Beshear defeated State Attorney General Daniel Cameron in a tight race.
In Mississippi, Republican Governor Tate Reeves is seeking re-election against Democrat Brandon Presley, who is a second cousin of legendary singer Elvis Presley. A U.S. Senate candidate in Michigan is campaigning in the UP with the help of a UP political club. Republican U.S. Senate candidate Dr. Sherry O'Donnell spoke to supporters in Marquette tonight. The visit was organized and hosted by the Upper Peninsula Republican Women's Club. Tonight, Dr. O'Donnell spoke about issues including education, Second Amendment rights, and U.S. foreign policy, but her primary focus was on border security. Despite being from Lower Michigan, O'Donnell says the UP is just as important to her campaign.
UP are important. I know that oftentimes the Upers think that they're ignored and neglected. They're not. They will be my future constituents as well, and it's important that I hear their voice so I can be the voice of we the people.
O'Donnell plans to make more stops in the UP in the coming weeks. In Lansing, new legislation currently being reviewed in the Senate would create mandated labels for campaign-related content created using artificial intelligence. Our Michigan Capitol correspondent Sophia Murphy spoke with the bill's authors to learn more about the legislation and its importance for upcoming elections.
The creation of media using artificial intelligence is a new but rapidly growing field.
There's a lot of positive uses, and it's accessible to pretty much anyone who can use the internet.
Schools have been quick to introduce strict rules surrounding the use of AI programs. And just last week, President Biden introduced an executive order that would require safety, civil rights, and labor assessments be done to determine the impacts of AI.
This type of technology can be used to spread misinformation, all the way up and down the ballot.
Legislation now being reviewed by Michigan Senate would require any audio, video, or images created using AI to be labeled specifying its use. East Lansing Representative Penelope Cerniglo introduced the bipartisan bills last month.
Something that we're beginning to see are deep fakes, which are videos of people that it looks like the person and it sounds like the person and it moves like the person, but it is not that person.
Representative Cerniglo says deepfakes can be used to misrepresent a candidate and their views, to distort opinions and potentially change the outcome of elections. Just this April, the Republican National Committee released an AI-generated video showing made-up future news coverage from a scenario where President Biden is re-elected. She says the goal is to create policy that would require similar ads to disclose the use of AI.
Everyone in the campaign world knows you have to put a paid for by disclaimer on your yard sign. This is really, comparable to something like that.
Rep. Cerniglo says she hopes to see this legislation passed soon so that people are aware of potentially misleading information ahead of next year's presidential elections. From Michigan's capital, Sophia Murphy, WZMQ 19 News.
Here in the UP, the petitions supporting the recall of 3 Delta County commissioners have all been completed and submitted. The Delta County Citizens for Ethical Leadership is calling for Commissioners David Moyle, Bob Barron, and Robert Peterson to be removed from the board. The petitions for Moyle's and Barron's districts were turned in earlier this fall. Circulators in Peterson's district needed 775 signatures, and the group has turned in 953.
Very proud of our community. People reached out to us. I don't think in the country at this point in time we've seen a greater, probably bipartisan group of people come together for their community and say that we want a positive change.
Peterson now has the opportunity to review and challenge any of those signatures. He believes there's an issue with the way the petitions were circulated.
A lot of falsehoods and outright lies put out about us. There was a flyer handed out with at least my petitions that has 10 statements on it that for the most part are incorrect. It's not fair to the people that are voting. It's not fair to the people that signed that petition.
Circulators say the flyers in question were not distributed by them. The signatures are being verified by the county clerk. So far, only Moyle's recall has been confirmed to be on the ballot in the May 2024 election. Marquette County has a new prosecutor. Jenna Nelson was appointed following the announcement about 2 weeks ago that prosecutor Matt Wiese will become the next circuit court judge. Nelson currently serves as the county's chief assistant prosecuting attorney and has been with the prosecutor's office since 2016. She graduated from Negaunee High School in 2002 and then earned degrees from NMU and Cooley Law School. Nelson will assume office November 27th. She will be the first woman to serve as prosecuting attorney in the history of Marquette County. Your first warning weather forecast is coming up after this break, plus the increase in travel focused on food. A closer look at culinary tourism and the best destinations. And the arguments the U.S. Supreme Court heard today about gun regulations that intend to protect domestic violence victims. Why some say the legislation goes too far. We're back after this.
19 News is brought to you by Kirkish Furniture.
Shop our huge selection of Amish-crafted dining room sets at Kirkish Furniture in Houghton. Browse our large in-stock collection and customize with a special order. With 1-year no-interest financing available, plus free delivery. Shop Kirkish Furniture today.
Is this a scam? If you're the real Joe Biden, say something only Joe would say.
Yum, yum, ice cream. Convinced now?
Yes!
Weeknights on CBS.
My friend and swim instructor, Ryan Lochte, is here on the Jennifer Hudson Show.
Are you still swimming?
You know what? It's been on my spirit, and this UPS driver will pump you up. Plus, a heartwarming story of human connection. Do y'all see this beautiful friendship?
The Jennifer Hudson Show, tomorrow at 5 on WZMQ TV CBS, followed by 19 News at 6.
I'm Lily Simmons. Watch my reports from Escanaba and Delta County only on WZMQ 19 News.
The UP helps those in need. I'm Ariane Stasek. WZMQ 19 is teaming with Goodwill to keep that winter chill away. And you can be part of Operation Warm Up. Bring new or gently used hats, coats, mittens, gloves, and scarves to the Goodwill stores. These clothing items will be given to neighbors in need. Check WZMQ19.com for more information, and thank you for supporting Operation Warm Up.
Tune in with me for some classical classics. Figaro!
Kill the rabbit. Tune in with me, weekdays at 7 on MeTV 19.1. WZMQ 19 News First Warning Weather with Ariane Stasek.
Well, if you live in Gogebic or Iron counties, I hope you know where your shovels are. I don't think you're going to need that snowblower, but ice melt, yep, you'll probably want that. Winter weather advisory as we zoom in here to see what's going on. This goes until 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, Central Standard Time there. Light glaze of ice and then up to 2 inches of snow. And we've also got that down here in Wisconsin, just south of the border. So if you're headed that way or coming from that way, just be prepared for those slick conditions, which we could see throughout the UP. Right now, our temperatures in that 25 to 35 degree range. And then as we take a look at the next 24 hours, Expect an icy commute. I will show you what that looks like with Futurecast here, as we've got a very wet day expected. Winds fairly calm coming out of the east. We're going to see a change of direction where those winds are going to come out of the west and especially the northwest here. And we could see some major gusts coming on Thursday. Take a look here, up to 45 miles an hour there in Ontonagon, where we'll primarily see a lot of that very fast wind speed coming from there, and then that kind of continuing into Thursday evening. So heads up on that. So let's zoom in, see what we've been looking at the past couple of hours. That wintry mix, most of it over here on the nose of the UP, hence that winter weather advisory. And then we do have some rain precipitation south of that. This is a current radar shot. We will expect this kind of pattern throughout our Wednesday. Let's take a look at what's happening. Maybe some heavy rain showers down in Menominee County, but again, a lot of snow showers and that mixture of rain and snow, possibly sleet, and we could see freezing rain, especially with these very cold temperatures, which we're going to hang out with into the week, and then we'll expect maybe above normal temperatures coming next week. I've got my eye on that for you. Some possible precipitation on our Thursday as well. A lot of that hanging out on the coastline there. So how much snow are we getting tomorrow? Well, like I said, I don't think you're going to need your snowblower unless maybe 3 inches might be too heavy for you. That's expected up there in Houghton, and then we'll see about 3 inches when all is said and done over in the Sioux. Our 7-day outlook for Marquette, temperatures staying fairly chill, and then we've got rain and snow mixture into our weekend here. Veterans Day, we're looking at partly sunny skies. We'll expect that across the UP, and then again on Sunday, warming up just a little bit. And look at that, these temperatures in the mid-40s coming next week, warmer sunshine. I've got your 7-day outlook for Escanaba, as well as what exactly does a winter weather advisory mean, coming up in about 15.
Thank you very much, Ariane. More Americans are traveling for food experiences. The luxury travel network Virtuoso finds 7 in 10 advisors have seen an increase in foodie travelers. Wendy Gillette reports on the taste-driven uptick from Chicago.
A DJ recently jump-started the party at Nobu, Las Vegas, celebrating the 10-year anniversary of the hospitality brand's first hotel at Caesar's Palace, with free-flowing sake, caviar-topped tacos, and decadent desserts.
We have great teams.
Chef Nobu Matsuhisa remains at the helm after launching his empire with actor Robert De Niro and Mayor Tepper.
Robert De Niro was the one that said, why don't we do our own hotel? I think it should work.
It did work, thanks in part to Japanese-inspired rooms, Nobu spa treatments, and room service from Nobu restaurants, which are always a part of the brand's hotels. There are now 37 around the world, either open or in development, mirroring the explosion in culinary travel.
This is a tuna.
Celisa Flores from Huntington Beach, California, has visited several, including the Las Vegas property, where we stayed for a special rate.
It's so fresh and just really amazing, innovative ideas with really simple ingredients.
Chicago is also a mecca for food lovers, and even more so now thanks to a very popular TV series based on this real-life Italian sandwich shop, Mr. Beef.
No, chef, that is not respect.
Fans of The Bear visit Mr. Beef to show respect.
Yes, chef.
To the charismatic owner.
At least in my eyes, I feel like it kind of immortalized us.
Other restaurants making appearances in the show include Publican Quality Meats, Avec, a longtime local favorite, and Ever, with 2 Michelin stars and dishes that look like this and this.
The feedback has been incredible from the guest perspective. The staff were incredibly excited about being in the program as well.
A Chicago food tour inspired by the show launched this month.
It's actually by popular demand that we're starting the tour, which is really awesome.
Another option for eating your way through the city.
The food tour based on The Bear is now running every other week on Saturdays. It lasts 3.5 hours and costs $129 a person. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised that I would think that it'd be more than that. Hunting season is well underway in Michigan, but next week marks one of the more popular seasons. Firearm deer season begins next Wednesday, November 15th, and runs until the end of the month. The DNR says last year's mandatory deer registration will now be enforced, and all hunters must report their deer within 72 hours of harvest or face a civil infraction and a fine up to $150. New this year, though, hunters can just report the township that their harvest was in instead of having to report the exact location.
We're still going to be here to help out aged deer and weigh them if folks still want to get them weighed, and talk with hunters to see how the season's going. So those services will still be here. We just won't be collecting that data. That'll be collected on the app.
The DNR says if you aren't able to register your deer in person, you can call the station and do it over the phone. For the first time in its history, Escanab's Public Safety Department will soon be equipped with body cameras. The department received a $60,000 grant from the Bureau of Justice Assistance, and the city of Escanaba matched that amount. According to the captain of the department, the cameras will be useful for training and prosecution, and they'll make Escanaba public safety more transparent.
Have citizen complaints on our officers. We can use the video as well to see if a complaint's sustained, not sustained. It's going to catch all the interactions, emotions, all that comes out to play in evidence.
Escanaba Public Safety has FBI-approved policies and procedures in place to prevent privacy violations for citizens. The department will receive the cameras in about a month, and officers will be trained on proper usage before wearing them on duty. The Supreme Court today heard arguments in a high-stakes case that pits gun rights against a federal law that seeks to protect victims of domestic violence. This is the first major gun case to come up since the Supreme Court issued a new standard on judging the constitutionality of gun regulations. Natalie Brandt has details from Washington.
What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now!
Outside the U.S. Supreme Court, a call to keep guns out of the hands of domestic abusers.
What is at stake in this case?
A million gazillion lives of men, women, and children.
Amanda King told us she nearly lost her life to an abusive husband.
I was in shock. I couldn't believe that he just shot me in the back of the head.
She's among the women who shared their stories while arguments unfolded inside the U.S. Supreme Court.
Guns and domestic abuse are a deadly combination. As this court has said, all too often, the only difference between a battered woman and a dead woman is the presence of a gun.
Lawyers for 23-year-old Zaki Rahimi are challenging the constitutionality of the 1994 law that led to his indictment for possessing a firearm while having a restraining order against him. He was arrested after shooting his gun in public 5 different times.
You don't have any doubt that your client's a dangerous person, do you?
Your Honor, I would want to know what dangerous person means.
Well, I mean, someone who's shooting, at people, that's a good start.
The Biden administration argues that last year's Supreme Court decision in the U.S. versus Bruin case has muddied the waters. That ruling said history and tradition should determine whether laws regulating firearms are constitutional.
Once the court corrects the misinterpretation of Bruin, then I think the constitutional principle is clear. You can disarm dangerous persons.
Legal analysts say a majority of justices appears poised to uphold the law to protect victims of domestic violence.
A decision on that case is not expected until next June. Still ahead tonight, how a Delta County organization is raising money for cancer patients' medical expenses and how you can help out.
At John's Auto, we love our new location. Is that right? Because it lets us serve you better. What did I say?
I think so.
New fun and games are here. I'm Jerry O'Connell inviting you to come and play Pictionary on WZMQ TV 19.
10 million people call Michigan home. The state capital since 1847 is in Lansing, and decisions made in this building affect you and the Upper Peninsula. I'm WZMQ 19 Sophia Murphy, uncovering what's really happening here every day, tracking issues about your health and the environment, taxes and roads, schools, and safety. Reports direct from the Capitol, only on your WZMQ 19 News.
Sophia Murphy, reporting live from Lansing, exclusively on 19 News.
I thought it was just a rash, but it had a bullseye ring around it. My doctor said it was a tick bite. Luckily, we caught it early.
Ticks found in tall grass around your home can spread Lyme disease and other illnesses, which can lead to chronic health issues. The CDC estimates nearly 500,000 people across the country are diagnosed with Lyme disease each year.
I didn't understand why my brother was having so many asthma flare-ups. Sometimes he couldn't breathe. Turns out a roach problem at home was triggering it.
Allergens left behind by dust mites, roaches, and rodents are a major driver of asthma attacks, especially in children.
When I had a fever, body aches, and fatigue, I never thought it would have been West Nile virus. All it took was a mosquito bite while gardening.
Mosquitoes spread West Nile virus and many other diseases, and they can breed in standing water around your home. Protect your family from pests. Get the facts at pestworld.org.
WZMQ home to CBS, The Talk, and 19 News.
The award-winning WZMQ 19 News, live and local with Sarah Blakely.
A nonprofit in Escanaba is raising money to help those diagnosed with cancer. The Delta County Cancer Alliance provides support for cancer patients, including nutritional and hygiene products, wheelchair and walker loans, and up to $800 in financial assistance. The Alliance is selling holiday raffle tickets for $5 each, and all the money raised will stay in Delta County.
It seemed like a lot of money, but it does help. And if nothing else, you know, they come into our office, they have a chance to talk about what's going on and know our community really appreciates all that we're trying to do during their journey with cancer.
The $1,000 winner of the holiday raffle will be drawn on November 19th at the Escanaba Elks Lodge. Raffle tickets are available at the Delta County Cancer Alliance office and the Daily Press. It's estimated that as many as 25% of pregnancies end in miscarriage, according to the National Library of Medicine. It can be one of the most heartbreaking and challenging times, often leaving women feeling alone. Kirsten Mitchell shows us how a Minnesota woman transformed her pain into purpose.
Really soft, very fluffy, machine washable.
Ashley Leeser has crocheted baby blankets for friends before.
It is a labor of love.
But these ones are going to strangers.
Creativity is a really great antidote to grief.
Who left the hospital, like she did, empty-handed.
The same hospital doors that everyone's walking out with their car seats and new babies. So as you're walking out next to that, a really painful feeling.
During a 14-week ultrasound, Ashley found out her baby girl passed away.
Your whole world comes crashing down.
A few days later, the blood loss nearly took her life too. She went to Maple Grove Hospital, where she is now giving back to other women experiencing pregnancy loss, one blanket at a time.
When I bring a blanket to a patient, I say, this is from Ashley, and she wants you to know that you're surrounded in light and love, and that she doesn't want you to feel so alone.
The hospital has a bereavement program, but nurse Jenny Berger says it's not always the case.
I think there is a lot of work to do when it comes to how we take care of these families.
I'm not able to fix the healthcare system overnight or by myself, but we can at least provide comfort and warmth for women who experience this today while we figure out ways to make it better for the future.
Ashley has raised enough money to provide a blanket to everyone experiencing pregnancy loss at Maple Grove Hospital for 1 year.
Ashley says she has enough money now and is just looking for volunteers to help crochet the blankets. We want to update you. We just have a few more election results. The Marquette County results just came in. There were a few big items on the ballot today across Marquette County, but one of the bigger ones was a bond proposal from the Gwinn Area Community Schools for $45.5 million. At this time, it appears like that has not passed. About 1,300, just under 1,400 people voted no on that, and about 865 voted yes on that. Again, you can head to WZMQ19.com and see all of the full election results that we will continue to update throughout tonight and also into tomorrow. We are expecting a pretty slick commute tomorrow morning, so maybe plan to wake up a little bit earlier. Ariane has the outlook on the way next.
Is this a scam? If you're the real Joe Biden, say something only Joe would say.
Yum Yum ice cream. Convinced now?
Yes!
Weeknights on CBS.
We've been a big part of a lot of community events. You know, we've been to a lot of festivals, parades, the UP 200, the Myers State Games. Which one has been your favorite?
I gotta say, okay, first of all, the Upper spirit, right? Yeah. Dedication, care, humor, and then that grit. And watching all of these events being put together and the volunteers, it's just been incredible, especially with the UP 200 having to pivot.
Yeah.
And that was my favorite because of how they were able to do that, but also the fact that they put snow on 3rd Street and we got to go sledding down there. That was my favorite. What about you?
I would agree with that. I mean, just the Festival of the Sled Dog was really cool to see because it was that Upper spirit of it doesn't matter if someone's going to knock us down, we're just going to keep going. And I think it was really cool for us to be a part of that too because it was right in front of our studios. Yes. I mean, we just had to walk out our front door basically and we could be right there at the festival. And I think that's really another cool thing about being right downtown is everything kind of does happen right at our front doorstep. And it's exciting not only as a news station, but as someone who lives here. It's exciting to have such easy access to these festivals and events and the Blueberry Festival and the Farmers Market.
That was my second one, was the Wednesday night Farmers Market and seeing all that local produce and products, especially those smash burgers.
The smash burgers were just delightful.
The Baxter Family Survival Guide.
Dad, you taught us to be self-sufficient.
And yet you're all still here.
Expect the unexpected.
You want money. Maybe you should do what other people do.
Get my own reality show. Dad, I'm trying.
Learn to adapt.
You're gonna use a glass, right?
Fine, hand me the big one.
Last man standing.
A quick recap, we've got these winter weather advisories for Gogebic, Iron counties, as well as a few new additions here, Houghton, South Houghton County and Ontonagon counties where we could be seeing up to about 2 inches of snow and then expect some icy conditions, a light glaze. Unfortunately, not a donut, but definitely on the road. It's going to be slick out there. So winter weather advisory, what does it mean? It basically just means be aware. We've got light wintry precipitation and chances, of course, of freezing, which is what we're seeing. And then we could be seeing snow anywhere from 4 to 6 inches over the course of 12 hours. I don't know if we're going to be seeing that much, but you know, Mother Nature, she likes to change things up. In the afternoon, your evening commute is going to be a little bit dicey over here on the east half, west half, getting a little bit of a break as you saw some very slick conditions expected in the morning, and then taking a look quickly during the day, midday, around 35 degrees.
Man, I gotta get the winter tires on ASAP. Finally tonight, a design competition is hoping to feed over 1 million hungry New Yorkers in a creative way this Thanksgiving. Construction challenges designers, architects, and engineers to build giant sculptures out of unopened cans of food. This year, 28 teams transformed 45,000 cans of tuna and salmon into enormous masterpieces like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Winnie the Pooh and these giraffes. The contest's Best Original Design Award went to This City Has Gone to the Birds, depicting a giant pigeon with the iconic New York coffee cup. There it is. Construction has donated over 2 million pounds of food to local food banks since 1993. That's pretty clever.
I can dig it.
I love that.
What would you make?
I don't think I could stack any more than like 4 or 5.
I would try
to
make
be honest.
the Jaws shark.
Just a pyramid. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
Since the 15th century, Antwerp, Belgium has been the city for diamonds. Erickson Jewelers is going overseas to this diamond capital soon to handpick directly from a sparkling selection unlike any in the world. Tell us what you're looking for and we'll use our connections to personally find it in Antwerp's famous diamond district. This is a special opportunity that allows us to negotiate the best options